Wow, she'll have dogs. I was like, we could go get her. I'm like, nah.
I don't think she'll mind if we start, because we have quorum, right? Okay, all right, so. I'm going to give you the signal. I go ahead and start, or go ahead and start. That's good. Good evening. This is the meeting for the tall. If you to just at our email at villageofnewpaltz.org. My name is Ted Nitze. I'm the chair of the Environmental Policy Board. I'll let the other members introduce themselves.
Hi.
Jessica.
Let us know that she'll be here a little later. When she does, I'll give her the opportunity to introduce herself also. We do have a quorum, so we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. There is a standing agenda for the meeting. Is there any questions? Opportunity for the public to comment at our meetings. So we're at that point in the meeting structure. If you'd like to provide public comments, you please can. Okay, moving on. Again, the best way to get a hold of us to get the messages to the Environmental Policy Board is through the email address environment@villageofnewpaltz.org. We see Bill. The play on this evening. Okay, Jessica and Greg moved. Any discussion? All right, we'll go ahead and vote to approve the agenda. For payment. Any announcements? Any announcements? Board members. Okay. Okay. I'm going to move in the agenda to item number 6 is for keep each other up to date on things that are going on. So at the last Environmental Conservation Board with the town, that was on January 15th. Their next meeting is coming up on the 19th next week. Written a letter to the town planning board about concerns of light pollution for the proposed county emergency operations center that's proposed on Paradise Lane. The letter was entered into the record. Hudson Valley Credit Union for their wetlands plan for that. The Industry Hub, a project on North Ohioville Road, gave an update to the planning board as to their progress. And the bakery on Putt Road was also updating the architectural plan for the improvements they plan to make at that building. There was no new planning board level in regards to the New Paltz Apartments project. At the rest of the Environmental Conservation Board meeting, we talked about wastewater or sewage improvements that are planned in the North Ohioville area, or the Ohioville intersection there on the east side of the thruway. We did discuss a request from residents or the ENCB decided not to take an issue or take a stance because it was taking place outside of the town of New Paltz. Rose Lane, which was a project that was on the town of New Paltz's Environmental Conservation Board watch list, was updated as to how the new plantings were going in regards to the damage that was done there a couple years ago. Board noted that we're a member of our 5-member crew. Was no new business, no old business, and our next meeting again is coming up this coming Monday. Questions? No. So. Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
The normal item for planning board update,
Oh, okay.
so we can come back to that.
Well, in addition to that, I was just at this training and the DEC is going to lower the DEC regulated state threshold for wetlands protection from 12.4 acres to 7.4 acres. So they're really doing to our preservation of the wetlands, since obviously now the DEC realizes that it's thing really right now would be the planned student housing. Which if you're getting to the planning board, if you want me to, we ended up moving to close the.
So.
Yes. Important environmental resource that we have to protect, because that's what, you know, that's what prevents flooding, what cleans our air, what cleans our water, what provides habitat and biodiversity. It's the wetlands. Those are our most important environmental resource.
Well, I think that the DEC item, I believe aware that right now the rule changes that the DEC is proposing is going through a public comment. um, of the change.
Sure, when,
But I think if the training was today and you were at it, I would imagine it's
no,
still.
no, it wasn't today. The training was like last week. Sometime. I don't remember exactly when.
Well, I think we could entertain a motion that would say that if the public comment period is still open, we would support a simple letter stating our support for the changes that the DEC is proposing.
So moved.
Second,
Seconded.
okay, so that was under EPB reports. Any other reports? And then we'll go back to planning. Any other reports, items, updates? Okay. All right, so we'll go back to item 5 then, which would be the village planning board update. Rachel acts as liaison, also a member of the Village New Paltz Planning Board.
Real.
I missed 2 previous ones. And we did move to close the public hearing, but the public comment is still open for a number of days. This is just the draft environmental impact statement. They have received volumes of comments and the main things for us would be the inadequacy of the maps. Because it's really hard to tell exactly what's going on where if the maps are inaccurate. And then, of course, we want them to pull away from the wetlands. The development extends into the wetlands on the north and south. You were gonna
Yeah, to draft the letter.
draft something up. The town EPB did recommend that they adhere to the more stringent town wetlands law and that they have a town wetlands delineator make their own map of the project. So that's what the town asked for, and I think we should support that. Have and I do want on it the concerns about the possible return of the beavers adjacent to the property and the impact on the area where the students have been studying birds. And so many issues were brought up. I mean, there's a lot of comments that they have to go through. My biggest question is, I don't know if you can answer this, Autumn, at what point during the process are we allowed to provide an alternative under E of SECRA, where they say, you know, these are the all, Jose. Yeah. Approach next, we're gonna, there was urban all instead. And that's it. I would do that.
so. But the clock is ticking on the environmental impact statement itself. Once they present the final, that's when you can start working on that, so. I would imagine, sometime in the next few months.
I mean, I have an. Oh, I just imported it. This development is a huge PDF file. It's on the website and you can scroll through it, but it's kind of hard to navigate in order to
Hearing which was closed, was that the 5th or?
Yeah, so 10 days, there's 10 more days to submit written comments. And then further along, there will be 5 more days.
Friday will be.
This Friday.
10 days from.
Is short of that,
Yes.
because the final environmental impact statement hasn't been submitted with all the comments, and it's still might warrant. Come here. Just a sec. And my question is, can we consolidate the town and the village environmental boards? Is there a way we can do that? I mean, if they're considering consolidating the town and the village, is there a way we could try to experimentally do that just to see how it goes?
Let's, so I will. This out. Friday. Use the email thread to edit, review, submit,
Sure.
and then have it submitted before Friday at 4 p.m. The things we've talked about before is not only the maps, but now and section of wild. That's in. Any other comments on that? All right. Okay, I mean,
In a row, actually. Not really set what's going on with those. I mean, we are advocating for saving trees and that sort of thing. But there's just the type of environment. Not getting any pushback on the apartment buildings. Those are going in. There's 3 of them
okay,
on 32. The Agway and next to Rycor and next to Zero Place. The
Yes.
Main Street off. Crazy place.
Yeah, what's going on with that? What's everybody saying?
Well, they can't, the traffic is hard to imagine, because that's like a hairpin turn right there. and there's no sidewalk. They say they're pushing back, but they're gonna give more space. Traffic. There's also. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
The jokes are hilarious. I
Um,
feel like it's like a Lion King episode with the hyenas right now.
So-
Down.
Any other planning board items? The-
Oh, Alex, did you ever get a hold of, what's her name? Bella, about the edible gardens?
I never got to get, I did, and then I have to do no following up.
So,
I'll just do that right now. And I'm like, I will follow up by email, so.
okay.
We'll do that right now. I can be away from the mic.
No,
No.
no problem.
It's still picking up, so, any other old business? Okay, new business. You wanna bring up that topic?
Consolidation?
Yeah.
Yeah, can we consolidate? I don't know what the legal aspect. We're big. I don't know, what do you think? You think it's a good idea?
Well, let me
Yeah.
give some history. Think I've been involved with the Environmental Policy Board, I think 4 or 5 years. And it was a couple of years ago. We-
Sorry.
I think we consolidate the village and the town environmental guardian.
Ingrid, so that's Hakel, was the chair at that time. And so we hosted once a year a joint meeting of the two. We exchanged topics and stories, and it was meant to increase the amount of collaboration or knowledge that we have. One of the points of the Environmental Policy Board for the village is to increase the awareness and communication amongst all the environmentally related organizations in this area. So we saw it as part of that. During those meetings, it was talked about the idea just on our own. And not an attorney, but at the time it was identified if the enabling legislation, the town and the village both passed similar laws, I'll say, creating the boards or commissions, and it was the same language, both of them, then that would in essence allow the two to merge. It's kind of murky, it's kind of village and the town boards acting on their own to put in place a combined area. Some of the concerns that were expressed were that the Environmental Conservation Board for the town and the Village Environmental Policy Board for the village have, we'll say, like a Venn diagram. Some of the things that they just for the time.
How
So,
many are they down? Because we're down, what, one right now? And how are they down as well?
well,
That was
the,
one of the reasons I thought it was a good idea. both have so few members. If we were combined, we'd be a
Right,
much stronger
right.
group.
So the town's environmental conservation board since then went from 9 members down to 7. And I think right now they have 6 or 7 full membership, I think, of that. Concerns was that it would make the meetings themselves or the efforts themselves, we'll say the things that the individual board members would need to work on would become broader because of that examination. On the flip side, though, it could be just 5 members or 7 members total, and so it wouldn't need to be as many members, for that. So, it was discussed, it was talked about in so it didn't. Thanks. I think some of those issues are still out there. I think much like some other consolidation efforts, it doesn't necessarily need to be a big overall state mandated thing. It could be something acted on among. There would be some benefits. There would be some things that wouldn't be as helpful.
It seems it would be beneficial, especially for people like Autumn, because they meet what on Mondays, first month, or what is that? Is there like,
Town,
yeah,
it's the second. It's like the week after this, so it's the
so
Monday.
it's-
yeah,
yeah.
right.
I know, I'm like you. It's like, there's a lot of, you know what I mean, between one saying one thing, you could spend that time actually, like speeding along that, so that could be efficient. But I'm brand new,
It would
so.
be like a law that would have to be passed, like, so that.
I think in terms of like trying to make a difference municipally, it might make sense. Sorry, Jen.
No, sorry, I was just nothing.
Oh. Uh. DP. Less many issues that feel like town together. There's little,
Okay.
just little environmental things we could do to.
Alex, anything you want to add?
Well, yeah, I mean, just I like where you're all thinking with this because of course, our pool of like super volunteers that care about environmental policy also have to get spread out between these 2 boards and then our climate smart communities task force. You know.
Veterans Drive, yeah, okay, yeah,
Right.
there, yes.
That's
yes,
like where the
that's name, that's
mobile
where it is.
DMV is, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Is it?
I think so. It's like that community garden or like the,
Yes, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we're at the right place.
Yeah.
Right. So I do think. Or as a liaison to the planning board for the town, the planning board, which on the town's conservation board, we rotate, right? Once every 3 or 4 times, one of the members of the environmental conservation board goes to the other for the village environmental policy board. If there's 7 members of us there, we would need to cover both planning board efforts, at least, the climate smart, activities integrate, are talking with the, almost, I would be concerned about the 7 members, the 5 members that are left covering both areas in that context. Then you go the other way, say, okay, well, the combined board could be 9 members. Well, I think you're back to the same idea of trying to find. I don't know of what next steps would be. Maybe we could entertain a motion to look into it further if we wanted to. It'd be,
Boards would have to agree with town and village, right? That's it.
The carrying on that, yeah.
I think if we wanted to take a small step, we could say we consider a motion that says that the environmental policy board is interested in sitting down with the representative of the environmental conservation board and talking about how.
We would also try like maybe increasing the collaboration meetings quarterly, but meeting once a year, maybe 2, 3, 4 times a year, and just kind of see how the meetings play out.
We haven't done that in a while, so I mean, that might even be, we could, the same motion could be increase, more than one.
Yeah, like,
Opportunities that we. So. Yeah. That is exactly what we did back then, was we would do it, like he was saying quarterly, but we would show up at the other one's meeting, so. it
Right,
wasn't
so like if we just wouldn't meet today, we would go on Monday.
And 3 or 4 months from now, they would. All those favors say aye. Aye. Okay. All right. Other new business? Other items of interest to the Environmental Policy Board? Do you want to talk about the landscaping? Out here?
Oh, you mean the apple garden?
Yes.
It's nothing to say, it's winter. We're looking for volunteers, and, people who are interested in it. Just, the raspberries did really well. I expect them to do well again. It needs some tending. But it's still. Not but it's totally worth it. The things they planted were really good. There were black currants that were really delicious. There were numerous raspberries that did really well. I
We
think I
expect
probably should have.
most all those to come back.
Yeah, they're all gonna come back. Strawberry. Strawberries next.
A related announcement earlier this month, it was my birthday and one of my daughters gave me, I guess it's the rights to one of the community garden plots. So I'll be diving into that this year. Sounds, if anyone knows anything about that, welcome to reach out to me because I'm not.
It's a very nice community.
Any other items? Any questions or concerns for the audience? Any things we can cover, want to talk about? All right. Before we close, soon we'll end tonight's meeting with the Village Environmental Policy Board for Tuesday, February 13th, 2024 in the Village Hall. Our next meetings are coming up on March 12th and April 9th, 5:30, second Tuesday of the month here. All those in favor say aye.